To the postnatal webinar. I'm Ankita Gaur, the founder and the product designer at The Baby Body, a mother myself, and an athlete. So just going to wait for a couple of minutes here and then we begin. Join in. Questions during the webinar, you can just type it in the chat box, and I will take last 15 minutes to answer all your questions regarding the exercise or fitness or any pain post childbirth, anything of that sort. Got 1 more minute before we begin. Your everyday webinar where we talk about theoretical stuff, and there's a lot of gyan given in the webinar. What I would predominantly would like to do and assist women who have delivered baby maybe a year ago, few weeks ago, few months ago, are about to deliver the baby, or it's been a long time they have delivered a baby, let's say 4 years to 5 years and 10 years, and still are experiencing some sort of problem. So this webinar is predominantly to assist you with the help of exercises, any sort of pain and aches that you are having at the moment, and then we can go ahead and kind of address the issues as well. Okay, so I would like to begin now, because I would be teaching some exercises during this program that you can follow at home, or if you would like to sign up with our program, definitely that is also an option there. So to begin, women often come to us at The Baby Body and ask questions. When is it the right time to start exercising? When or how should I begin? The doctor has asked me not to do anything for 6 months. Or 6 weeks, or if you had a vaginal delivery, women think, I had a vaginal delivery, I don't think I need to exercise, I think I'm really very fit. We do not need to work on core. I just need to lose weight. So many women rather come to us and directly they say, hi, I want to start and lose weight. And when we ask them, what have you done post childbirth? They say, no, we've not done anything, but I have this, and I would like to demonstrate, I would like to talk about this. So it is not a very boring session for everyone. I have this big mummy tummy out here, and I'm not carrying too much of a weight, but I would like to just start losing weight. When we ask them, what have you done in the webinar? They say, oh, what have you done post childbirth? They say, we have not done anything. Then we take a class and we then assess their strength. So apparently we figure out, and in 90% of the cases, we realize that they are having very weak hips. They are having severe upper back pain because obviously they are feeding the baby all the time. Their posture is gone like this because you're all the time carrying the baby and sitting like this. They're having hip pain. They're having lower back pain. In some cases, the pain is, may I ask you to mute yourself, please? Thank you. In some cases, the pain is so extreme that they're not able to even lie down. So I would like to start from here. Now, when you deliver the baby, there's so many changes that happen in a woman's body. Number one, your posture change. So you would notice a lot of women post childbirth, instead of standing tall, they're standing like this, because our spine is now bearing the load, or they're slouching like this. They were really fine till the time the baby was not born, and suddenly you will see their posture become like this, the postural thing. Now, the second change that happens in the body is the muscular change. Your abdomen becomes weak, and I would like, because it's the women's webinar, I would like to talk about it. Your abdomen becomes weak and it's absolutely hanging out there. You will notice so many women that even though they have delivered the baby, they would still look 5 to 6 months pregnant. It's not because that's a fact. It's because their muscle has become so loose after childbirth, they are not able to bring that muscle or strengthen that muscle. And if you ask that woman, she will tell you that she's experiencing severe hip pain and lower back pain, which nobody tells us or prepare us women that this is going to happen post childbirth, and you need to strengthen that core muscle. Okay, so ligament changes. Ligaments are they often come to me and they say, Ankita, I want to start slow. I went to this yoga class. I went to this, Zumba class, and I was doing this kickboxing, and now my knee is hurting. My elbow is paining. Very common. My wrist is paining. A wrist pain is a very, very common pain post childbirth that women go through. Okay, so what we are trying to do is we're going to try to bust some myths over here, teach you certain exercises that you can carry into if you are about to deliver the baby, or if you have already delivered the baby, and carry it with you and kind of learn those, or come back to us as well and we can teach you. Okay, second, what happens when you deliver the baby? So there is a very big misconception between vaginal birth and C-section. In a vaginal birth, let's say or what you call as a normal delivery, in case of a normal delivery, women are often asked in good hospitals that you start doing gentle hip strengthening, gentle breathing exercises to regain your core strength. What is we often say is a pelvic floor exercise. So what happens when you deliver a baby vaginally? Okay, so this is your stomach. When you grow, the stomach starts spreading apart, and you see this mummy tummy or the pooch that's hanging out. Now, in case of a vaginal birth, what happens? Your baby assisted is via this root. Everything is now hanging down. So especially in a case of vaginal birth, you really need to lift the pelvic floor organs up, bring them up, and strengthen them. Because if you do not do that, there are high chances that you will face pelvic floor pain, which is this particular muscle area, your hip pain. You will also have incontinence or urine control problem, which is a very, very common issue that women go through even 10 years after childbirth, and nobody talks about it. You will also face control problem in controlling your bowel movement, which is an extreme case of incontinence and vaginal prolapse. There are women who sometimes feel that there's something always hanging down. It is because that your pelvic floor muscles assist the childbirth. They open up and they let the child travel out. And it's very important to bring them back in. It's also very important to understand that post childbirth, a lot of women also suffer difficulty during intercourse. And this is one of the reasons, because their pelvic floor muscle is very weak. So it's important to exercise if you have had vaginal delivery. C-section. A lot of women have this concept that I had a C-section, I don't need to strengthen my pelvic floor muscle. This is such a big myth, because we have women in our community who suffer from incontinence after childbirth via C-section. They also have problems like hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids is basically when you are not able to pass stools comfortably. Okay, and in extreme cases, you really need to go to, or it's led by constipation. Let's talk about that. So constipation is just not food, fiber. It can also be weak pelvic floor muscle. So this is something which a lot of women are not aware, and they really need to keep in mind that if constipation is happening and you are having enough amount of fiber intake, enough amount of food intake, and still it's not healing, it's time to work on your pelvic floor muscle. Now, the C-section scar, when you start working on your pelvic floor muscle, the C-section scar breaks down and heals much faster than in a case of a woman who's not done any exercise, if she had had a normal childbirth via C-section, sorry, a normal or no uncomplicated birth via C-section. After 6 weeks, we recommend, or even doctors recommend, that start with little pelvic floor training, because that helps your scar to heal much faster. The pain reduces much faster than in cases where women are just waiting for 6 to 8 weeks and they're 6 to 8 months and the scar is still not completely healed. So irrespective of the kind of childbirth you had, see, the trauma is going to be there. Childbirthing is not something which is so easy at men or everybody thinks it is. It's a trauma experience. So whether it's a vaginal delivery or a C-section, you really need to give it time to heal, and you really need to work on your core muscle. When we say core muscle, and we talk about abdominal strengthening, everybody starts thinking, okay, I need to start doing crunches. Crunches is a big no-no. If you will start doing crunches immediately after childbirth, you will further weaken your core. That is something you have to keep in mind. Also, extreme exercises like jumping ropes. A lot of women want to go, I would like to go and join kickboxing right away. I want to go and start doing intense yoga exercises. Anything without developing strength in your hips, in your lower back, and in your pelvic region. Any exercise, whether yoga, Pilates, kickboxing, weight training, you do within the first 1 year of postpartum, you will realize that after a few weeks, you are lucky, after a few months, you will have either a knee pain, a hip pain, a wrist pain, or a severe lower back pain. Okay, I'm going to jump on to the next one. Very common question: what are the issues women face post giving birth? And I'm sure if we have women out here, who I'm going to just sit down a bit because I want to talk about this. Anybody who has delivered the baby over here might be facing something or the other. Diastasis recti. What is diastasis recti? A very common term called mummy tummy. Women, after delivering a baby, what happens is your tummy splits into two. Before you do anything else, you need to bring this together. So this is your tummy. As the baby grows, the muscle separates. Okay, now you really need to bring it back. Your core protects your lower back, your spine. If this is not strong, it's very, very obvious you will have severe lower back pain and hip pain. Okay, now what happens in diastasis recti, and that's a term, the rectus abdominis splits into two. And this can only, a lot of women tie a belt. Okay, we're going to tie a belt, the tummy is going to go in, I'll be fine, I don't need to exercise. It's great, tie a belt, you will get the result, but it does not heal internally. There's no way you can join the muscle without doing the exercises. Okay, so the exercises help reduce that bulge or the pooch that a lot of women over here, I'm going to show it over here, a lot of women carry this pooch down. The body will be slim, but this mummy tummy is going to hang out. Why? Because their abdomen is not strong and it's not back to its original posture or position. And that's where the diastasis recti, how do you understand what is a diastasis recti? That's what I'm going to demonstrate down. But apparently a mummy tummy is a combination of either you have a diastasis recti or you're having that pooch out, which is lack of strength in your core muscles. Okay, now in diastasis recti, you can do checks. You can lie down on the floor and I'll teach you how you can check whether you have a gap within your abdomen or not. And you can do exercises that can rectify that for you. But in most cases, diastasis recti can be healed. There are women who suffer with diastasis recti up to, I have this patient, she had delivered 10 years ago, and she said, Ankita, I look 5 months pregnant. And I'm sure we see so many our buas, aunties, and chachis around who still carry a lot of tummy and they look like 5 to 6 months pregnant today, because they are not aware that they need to strengthen and work on that muscle, and they experience lower back pain, hip pain, they can't walk, and they struggle through it. Okay, now I'm going to jump to it immediately. I'm going to just go through this. So hemorrhoids, again, constipation. Constipation can be can be triggered by weak pelvic floor muscle, pelvic pain again, weakness, joint pain, and sensitivity. Okay, very common thing, and I want women to watch out for this as well. If you are experiencing wrist pain, all right, please make a note of that. Do not let the wrist pain increase, because this can trigger into carpal tunnel, in which the hands are very common problem again during post pregnancy. Your hands will have sensation or numbness to a point that you would not be able to hold things in your hand. So in case if you are starting to have wrist pain, start looking for signs. Make sure that when you're feeding the baby, change the position. Do not hold the phone when you are feeding the baby. These are few things that you might want to know. Second is elbow pain. We are constantly carrying the baby here. Yep, all the time. Again, this is a very common issue. Tennis elbow. Very, very, and we run to physiotherapists rather than working on. And why is it caused? I'll tell you why it happens. Because we are constantly holding the baby like this, and this muscle becomes weak. The load falls on the elbow. Why? Because we are not exercising. And nobody tells us, hey, you need to strengthen your shoulders so that the pressure can be taken off. Hi, can I please request you to mute yourself? Sorry about that. Okay, so here we are. Now I'm going to jump onto the next one because I really want to get to the exercising part of it. Give me 1 minute. This is the diastasis recti. The major cause of problem in women: abdominal weakness, healing of diastasis of or rectus abdominis up to 50% by 6 weeks, 75% within the 6 months to 7 months of the original strength, not 100%. Always remember that. And that's why our mothers, our grandmothers have been facing problem towards their, once they are 50 years and above, because they are having issues in frequent urination. They are not able to control urine. They don't want to travel because they were not aware of these problems. All right. Now, why you need, what is the benefit, and why should I start exercising post-pregnancy? Stamina, number one. We lose our stamina. Okay, very, very important. We lose our stamina, we need to get it back. Then second is recovery. How active you were before pregnancy and how you are going to be postnatal is something which is very important. If you've been exercising post-pregnancy or during pregnancy, chances are that your recovery will be a lot faster. If you were not, this is the time. If you've never exercised, now is the time to take that 30 minutes out for yourself and start working, because from here, strengthening becomes even more critical, especially if you had a C-section. Because in C-section, the scar tissue is very deep, and you really need to work on building the core strength. You are cutting the 7 layers of your stomach. Like, it's really deep cut. And for that, the body goes through a lot. So in that case, you really need to get back to some sort of activity. And if you're not doing anything, if you're not aware of, or you don't know what to begin with, start walking. Start walking, do not wait. If you have delivered 3 days, 4 days ago, start walking around the house. It will reduce the swelling in your legs. It will lift up your mood. Take your baby out in a stroller and go out for a walk. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. Okay, again, improvement of muscle imbalances, all of that stuff. It's just, again, core, strengthening the core. If you are suffering from constipation, working on your core muscle is going to let that bowel movement happen. We are so ashamed to talk about that, hey, after post-childbirth, because the entire attention goes to the baby. How cute, how nice. Wow, right? But nobody cares about mothers. But we are suffering internally. We have, even during vaginal birth, we have stitches down there, and we are suffering inside silently. Nobody talks about it. We cannot even tell someone that we are having constipation. So The core exercise, easy core exercise is what's going to get that bowel movement moving along with good fiber and water intake. All right, I'm gonna just start exercising now and show you what you can do. So general rule of thumb, when can I start exercising? In case of a vaginal birth, you can start as early as few days after childbirth. So when we say few days after childbirth, I will explain what you need to do few days after childbirth. In case of C-section, let the scar heal. Usually by 5 to 6 weeks, you can actually start doing exercises. Okay, now why it is important to work on core and how. I'm going to start the exercises and I'm going to show you how to begin. Very big question. Nobody has the answer. Should I go to gym and start lifting weight? Should I sign up for a Zumba? Should I start the yoga class? The first thing every woman in this room needs to focus on is regulating the breathing and working on this part. This. In Hindi, if you're from North India, in Hindi, we call this dhar. This is responsible for every movement from your rib cage up to your hips. Now, why breathing is more important and why it is so crucial to work with the breathing. When your baby is growing, your diaphragm is compressed. Every organ in your stomach is like squishing and like pressed. It is out of place. The baby is out, but the organs are all still there. So we need to make sure that the organs are back in place. How do we do that? We first start with the right breathing technique. Okay, why right breathing technique? Now it's very important. Nobody will explain you this. Your diaphragm is connected to your core. Your core is connected to your pelvic floor. They work in tandem. They work together. All right, number one. If you see your baby sleeping, the baby's stomach falls up and down, up and down. And that's what you need to do. You need to first get back to your breathing. So I'm going to demonstrate some exercises that you can start the moment you have delivered a baby, few days or whenever you are ready. Okay. And this is where the pelvic floor training comes into picture. So you got to lie down. And I hope you can see me. Hands by your side, relax. Everybody will tell you, do Kegel, do this, do that. This is how you really need to start working. And this is what it's going to help you get that mummy tummy or the stomach that's out also back in place, working on your hip strength, on your lower back strength. Okay, so lie down. If you are there working out with me, lie down on a mat, hands by your side. Okay, inhalation and exhalation is very important how you start working out. So get back into breathing. Now, whatever I say, always inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. So we're going to start with first core basics or core breathing. Now, deeply inhale through your nose and let it go into your stomach and let your pelvic floor relax completely. So you're going to do 1, inhale, 2, 3, 4. And after 4, I want you to exhale from your mouth like you are blowing a whistle. So 1, 2, 3, inhale, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. So exhalation is very important. So make sure that you're inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. This is very, very important. The more easy you inhale, the better your exhalation is. And once you start exhaling, you will be able to do what I'm going to do next. Okay, here. So for a couple of breaths, you're going to lie down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now imagine and feel your hip bone. Okay, Imagine there are strings attached to your hip bone, and I want you to, as you exhale, pull that belly button towards the spine or towards the mat and bring that hip bone together. So it's going to look like this. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let the belly expand. And exhale, press the tailbone down and bring the hip bone together. Pull that navel in. Again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try to make your inhalation easy and your exhalation longer than your inhalation. The more you exhale, the more you are trying to pull your pelvic floor and strengthen it. Again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Imagine your, again, hip bone coming together. I'm going to teach you one more last time. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, let the hip bone come together and bring your spine towards the floor. And exhale, 4, 5, 6, and relax. This is the first exercise which you can do even if you've had a C-section, the first thing after 6 weeks. And if you've had a vaginal delivery, the first thing after a couple of weeks. Okay, that's the first exercise. Now, this is the foundation. And on top of this, we built the other exercises. The next thing that you must add to your routine is called clamshell. Okay, gonna lie down and drop your knees to one side. If you are somebody who's just delivered the baby, I would like you to have a pillow under your head so that your neck is resting completely. There's no aches and pain. If not, you don't have a pillow, put your hand and keep your hand in front. Keep your hand in front so that the body weight is in the front and not back. Now, from here, start opening your knees and bring them back in. What you have to keep in mind here is, as you open the knees, do not let your body weight shift back. I see a lot of women doing this clamshell and they're rotating like this in the class. No, then you do not work on your hip strength. Your hip muscles protect your pelvic floor muscles. So no matter whether you had a C-section or vaginal birth, your lower back and your pelvic health is determined by the strength in your hips. Okay, so don't forget to work on your hips while you're working on the diastasis recti that we're going to address now. So again, as you open up, breathing is very important. As you open up, inhale and exhale, pull that belly button towards your spine. Do not touch the knee. The tension needs to be there in the muscle. Inhale, do not shift your hip, your body weight back. Exhale through your mouth. Again, inhale through your nose, open up, and exhale. Anybody suffering from pelvic pain, this is one of the exercises that you must add to your routine. Okay, again, the breathing is critical. The weight forward, the weight coming in the forward is important. So inhalation as you go up, only to a point where your body allows you, respect your body. Once your glutes have strength in them again, you will be able to open up completely. But no point doing it right now this much when I'm not able to hold the strength. Okay, then exhale, bring it back in. This is another exercise that I recommend to women in the first week when they are starting to exercise. All right, now, third exercise, hip bridges. Everybody has taught one of the best exercises that you can do if you are working towards diastasis recti, if you're working towards pelvic floor pain, lower back pain, hip pain. So this one exercise is the, I think, the golden of the gold whatever you would call it right now. Okay, cutting the crap. I'm gonna just start here. I know a lot of people have been to yoga classes and they've gone to prenatal classes and they've been taught this one exercise. I'm going to teach you how to do it more effectively. Okay, you're going to lie down. So you're going to take your hips up. Okay, this is most of the people know. Now, when you start doing it with the right breathing, your stomach or the diastasis recti or that mummy tummy starts working and starts going towards reduction. I'll tell you how. So as you're going to inhale in this position, exhale when you lift your hips up. But when you're lifting your hip up, I want you to pull your navel towards your spine and squeeze your glutes at the same time. So it's going to look like this. Inhale in this position. Exhale through your mouth. And I'm going to pull this tummy in, squeeze that bum, and slowly drop down. If you're not doing or pulling your navel in, I'll show you how it'll look. It'll look like this. Inhale and exhale. This is what we do. We put more pressure, we add more air in our tummy. Rather than reducing the tummy, we are actually building a pressure here. Okay, so I would like to go ahead and go back to what I said. Again, inhale in this position, and as you go up, exhale and pull that navel towards your spine and squeeze the bum. So right now you're actually working on this core strength, mummy tummy, diastasis recti, and also squeezing that hip and building hip strength. And slowly drop down. I'll show you one more time. Now inhale through your nose as you lie down, exhale through, and go slow, guys. I'll tell you the reason why we need to do these exercises slow, okay, towards the end. Exhale. And inhale back down. Okay. If you have any questions now, this is the time to shoot in so that I would start addressing them as well. Okay. All right. Now this is a basic hip strength. I thought the hip was going to fall off, so I'm going to take them away. So I hope you're able to hear me. Okay, now we're going to work specifically a very common question. I've not gained weight, but I still have a lot of mummy tummy. What to do? What should I do? Okay, if you are doing an exercise with me in the class, please grab a ball or a pillow. Okay, and we're going to work with that. So get a ball, a small Pilates ball, or a very fluffy cushion, or you can get a stuffy toy, which is really fluffy in nature. We're going to use that. Okay. The diastasis recti is a very common issue a lot of women go through. So I'm going to teach you 3 exercises that can actually help you towards diastasis recti. Number 1. Lie down, kneel down in this position. Okay. And I'm just going to remove this, lift this up so that you guys can see how my body is contracting and expanding. Again, this will also help in pelvic floor, one of the exercises that you can start in the 2nd week. So the 1st week, do that hip bridge, core breathing, a little bit more, add more little gentle hip exercises, clamshells. In the 2nd week, you can start with this. So hold your ball. This also works on our chest muscle because we are feeding the baby, our posture is gone. So this also works on a chest muscle. So hold the ball like this, or a cushion if you have, okay? Again, breathing plays very, very important role, how you are going to build strength in your core. Again, in all of these exercises, we have not done anything hard, anything intense. Everything is very lying down, kneeling down. We have not even stand up for the exercises yet, okay? So I want you to sit back. If you're having difficulty in sitting back like this, you can use a pillow at the back and just sit as much as you can. Okay? So sit back like this.
Keep your ball or the pillow in front of you and inhale in this position. Exhale, as you go up, I want you to pull that navel towards your spine. Again, imagine your hip bone coming together. Breathe out from your mouth and inhale back. A very good exercise if you are having prolapse or if you're suffering from prolapse and you want to recover from this or a pelvic floor pain. I'm just going to come forward and show you again how I breathe into the exercise. Okay, again, ball here. Inhale deep and exhale and squeeze that ball. When you squeeze that ball, you activate your shoulder muscles. Before we start strengthening, we need to activate these muscles. This is something I would like, how I like to say in my class. Our muscles have been on vacation all this while, childbirth and everything. Now we are asking them to work. They will not like it. So you need to wake them up. What we are doing right now, we are waking them up from a long vacation. Okay? So again, I'm going to say this is one of the best exercises, and I love this because this instantly produces results. Hold the ball here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Pull the belly button in. Squeeze that ball. Release the ball and sit down. I'll show you one more time. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Squeeze the ball. Squeeze that belly button in and let it relax as you come down. Okay. Next exercise. This is something you can add with a pillow or a ball, a small ball, or anything like a teddy bear. If your son or daughter has a teddy bear, you can do that. I'm going to show you the next exercise, which is called heel taps. Women suffering with 2-finger diastasis recti, 3-finger diastasis recti. This is an exercise. The next 2 exercises are going to really help you. So I'm just going to teach you that, and we teach a lot more in the class that we conduct. So because of the limited time, I'm just going to show you 2 of these. Lie down and begin with this. This is called heel taps. So relax. The breathing again is very, very important. So I'm going to show you how my core works as I breathe. Hands by your side. You're going to keep your toes up and you're going to work with your heels. Okay. So inhale as you tap out. Exhale, pull your belly button in and bring the leg in. So inhale, breathe out. Inhale, breathe out. As you breathe out, I want you to pull your navel in. So heel taps, very basic, very easy. You can start this 6 weeks after you have got clearance from your doctor. You had a C-section immediately after that, and you got clearance again. Repeating clearance from your doctor, you can start this exercise. Lie down, toes up, heels down. Again, inhale and go slow. Exhale. Pull your navel towards your spine and release. Other leg, inhale down, exhale when you bring the leg back and pull that core in. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Okay. The next thing you can do is, the next level is take the pillow or the ball. The ball, it's not even expensive. You can just get like $200-300 of ball or plastic ball from the market. It's very effective. Cushion is not that effective. Keep your feet down. Here, I want you inhale, squeeze, exhale, and bring it back. Inhale down. Inhale in this position. Exhale, squeeze the ball and release back. Inhale, squeeze, extend, and down. Relax. Squeeze, straighten up that leg, and release. Squeeze that ball, straighten up, and release. If you have a vaginal birth, this is very, very important because this straight away works on your pelvic floor health, your abductors, which your inner thigh muscles, which assist the childbirth during a vaginal birth. So again, squeeze that ball, extend, bring it back in, release the ball, squeeze that ball, extend, and release the ball. Remember, breathing is very, very important in all of this because your diaphragm is connected to your abdomen and your abdomen is again connected to your pelvic floor. So if you are doing this exercises mindlessly and not paying attention to the breathing, it will not have that much of an impact on you. Okay, last exercise that I want to show. Very, very important. If you are having too much pressure on the lower back, start adding this to your routine. Dead bug. Okay, so immediately, if you are not having strength and you just delivered a baby, you might not be able to lift your leg, which is absolutely fine. I want you to put your leg down and hands up. Women who can put their legs up, please keep your legs up. Now from here, we will focus on opposite hand and opposite leg. So here. Control and down. And down. Okay, if you are absolutely fine and you want to start, because this is definitely going to work on your diaphragm recti and also on the lower back strength, start here. Focus on your tailbone completely in contact with the mat. Now slowly straighten the leg. Now I don't want you to take your leg too down because the moment you do that, your back leaves the contact and it adds more pressure. So be mindful of that and maybe just start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By 5th rep, you will start feeling that your core is already getting fatigued. Okay, if you've not done any workout. But I would say let's go up to 10. So we'll do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and we'll do 1 more. Once you have done 10 reps, now is the time to start the hand. Opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Now, my observation, and every time I take a class, this is what women usually make a mistake. Okay, when I tell them you do this, and this is what they'll end up doing. We are not doing crunches. We are not doing cycling. So you have to make sure, and this has to be done mindfully, that whichever hand is moving, the opposite hand stays in one place. So if I'm moving my right hand, my left hand will not come down. It has to be right above my shoulder. My knee has to be right above my hips. So even if when I'm moving my leg, my other leg stays stable. There you go. Okay, so avoid doing this. Please do not do this. Stand here, stay here, and just focus on moving one thing at a time. These are some of the exercises that you can start in the very first few weeks of after childbirth. Okay, if you have any questions, I'm going to just open up the question chat box and I'm going to start taking the questions here. All right, let me just see. 1 minute. All righty. I'm 4.5 months postpartum. Which form of exercises should be more beneficial for me? I delivered via C-section. So you can start with yoga as well. You can start with exercises as well. My recommendation to anybody with respect of whichever exercise form you start, please work on your core strength first, because I've seen cases, and I'm actually handling cases wherein women have gone and done intense yoga and they've come back with knee pain and a neck pain and an upper back pain. So that is something you really need to be mindful of. If you're choosing a postnatal yoga, please make sure that the first 2 to 3 weeks are given to your pelvic health and core health. And I think you should ask, as women, you should ask when you are opting for that postnatal yoga, you really need to ask the teacher that, do you help in core rebuilding? Do you help me with the pelvic floor? Because just doing Kegels is not going to help. Are you going to fix the diastasis recti if I'm carrying that? Okay, I hope that answers the question. Hi, after 5 months, can I still do exercise? Of course. If you've got clearance from your doctor and you've had a normal, healthy delivery, whether it's a C-section or vaginal birth, you can definitely start after 4 to 6 weeks. You should not wait, in my opinion. All right, next question. Hi, I'm 6 months post C-section, still have pain when I move around. Where is the pain exactly? And if it could be a possibility that your scar is not healed internally, and if that is happening, massaging the scar helps, and doing pelvic floor exercises certainly helps to break that scar tissue. So that is something you might want to add. Okay. Next question. I am 1.5 months postpartum. What exercises will help me to reduce my lower body? Walking. Honestly, walking. If you are, a lot of women gain weight at different areas, because of genes that we have. But if you're specifically targeting lower body and you are still just 1.5 months, work on that core and hip strength and add walking to your routine, or cycling, indoor cycling, easy to your routine. But make sure that your stitches are healed. Whether it's a C-section or in vaginal birth, we always get stitches, so make sure that that is healed. Okay. The stretches, I'm really scared to do anything, workout, because no. Okay, this is I'm so glad that somebody raised this question. There is a fear that if I will do workout, I will not be able to breastfeed my baby. I'm coming from a sports background, and I'm a runner. I know women who feed the baby and they run marathons. Your breast milk production is directly proportional to the amount of water intake. So if you are hydrating well and you are exercising, please do not be afraid. Exercising does not have any impact on your breast milk production. It is a myth. You have to make sure that you are having constant hydration, like have 2 glasses of water every time you're feeding your baby. That is what's going to regulate the breast milk, not the exercise. I'm so glad somebody asked this question, because it's something, a very, very common question, and nobody wants to kind of ask it. All right, go to the next one. Hi, I'm 10 months postpartum. I have 2-finger diastasis recti. Preeti, you need to start working on it now before you have serious issues, as you grow ahead. The 2-finger diastasis recti is, it's an important thing to heal. It needs to heal. It's a serious thing. 2 finger is a lot. It's not a lot, but it is something which can be healed by exercise. Okay, 4 finger is when you need to get operated. Up to 3 to 2 fingers, it can easily be healed by exercise. We have done this in our classes with women who have attended the classes. And 10 months is a really short period of time, don't worry. We have women, I had this woman from Mumbai who had a baby 10 years ago, has a 2.5-finger diastasis recti, and we were working with her. Okay, so definitely can be taken care of. I am 1 year postpartum, having diastasis recti and umbilical hernia. Can I do squats and lunges with the weights? No. I would recommend you to start working with diastasis recti first, strengthening your pelvic floor muscle, and then start doing a little bit of squats and lunges without too much heavy weight. Little bit weight, you are anyways lifting. People say 1 kg weight, 1 kg is a water bottle. My dear, 1 kg is a water bottle that we lift every day. That's not weight. This is just because we have it in our mindset. 2 kg, you're lifting your baby, might be around 10 kgs or 13 kgs. But a heavy weight with squatting, you really need to be very mindful of the umbilical hernia. You really need to first heal it with pelvic floor training, strengthening your bridge, strengthening your hips, your glutes, so that your pelvic is protected, your core is protected, and on top of that, you have a diastasis recti. So fix that and then move on to heavyweight training. I hope that answers the question. Next one. I had a C-section. Guys, I have a lot of questions, so I'm going to take one by one. Sorry about that. I had a C-section 2 years ago. I have a terrible pain in hip and can't lift heavy weights. Upon visiting physiotherapy, is dislocation of hip. A dislocation of hip can be of 2 to 3 degrees. What degree it is, that is something you really need to check. Certain exercises help it fix it, because we know in Bangalore, to the centers where I've been, because I'm from a sports background, this can be treated, but then to what extent is the dislocation? That is something we really need to check. So if you are somebody, and you can just DM me on Instagram, my handle is the cookie runner or the baby body handle. Just drop me a message on the same number. I might be able to discuss it, outside this environment. Okay, I'm 4 months postpartum. If I try any activity, feeling weak, any food diet will help. Feeling very weak. Are you feeding the baby? Make sure that you are eating. The food, dates, one of the best things. Beetroot, if your baby is okay with the taste, because if you're feeding, that could also again change the taste of the breast milk. Beetroot, dates, nuts, have magnesium in your food. That is going to really help you from the fatigue. So maybe adding pumpkin seeds could actually boost that energy level. That is something which I did during my pregnancy. Does workout affect? I think I've already replied to that question. It does not, if you are hydrating well. Okay. I had a C-section 2 years ago. I have a terrible hip pain. I think we've answered this question. I'm 6 months postpartum. I want to reduce my tummy size. Nidhi, I think exercises, some of the exercises you see, you can start with that or join the program. We have made some really strong women who came in, and I'm not bragging. This is something which also is there on our Instagram testimonials. Women who never had strength in their shoulders, could never do push-ups. They have gone ahead and did push-ups, reduced their tummy completely post-childbirth. So this is something which is achievable and doable if you are following the right pattern. So there's something which I think every woman needs to keep in mind, is that what happens when you deliver the baby, your body is changed. Sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it's not a good thing. Good thing because you are like a clean slate. When you start working with the right coach or a right guide, the person can then start teaching you the right method, how to lift weight, how to squat correctly, how to do a core exercise correctly. And then the strength which you build is amazing, because women in our center, they've gone ahead and kind of started doing push-ups. They've reduced their tummy by the end of 3 months. So this is something which is doable. Tummy reduction is, trust me, is one of the things that can easily be tackled. All right, next question. 8 months post C-section, I'm facing neck, hip, and spine pain a lot after 8 hours in front of the laptop. Again, food, good food diet. Again, don't eat junk, add nuts, add more fiber, add more protein. Exercising is what's going to help you, because we have 90% of the women that work out with us, prenatal and postnatal are working mothers, and they are actually experiencing these issues. So posture, again, like I said in the slide, it goes for a toss. So this is something has to do with exercise. You really need to strengthen your upper back. So first thing, and any mother out there who is struggling with the upper back issue or the neck pain, this is one exercise you can start now. Okay, I'm going to show it. Okay, your knees, nine, like you can mute yourself, please. Your feet slightly apart. Okay, all right, I'm going to come closer to the camera. I want you to now remember pushing your hips back, chest up. Hips back, chest up. Bend that knee slightly. Now give me thumbs up. Okay, give me thumbs up. You're gonna go 1 and outwards and squeeze that shoulder blade. 2 and outward. 3 and outward. So this exercise, again, the posture is very important. Push your hips back. Can we just mute it? I'm so sorry, Neelima. I'm just going to put you on mute. So sorry about that. Okay. Again, the posture is very important. First, push your hips back. Anybody feeding the baby, struggling with neck and shoulder pain, this is one mobility exercise to add to your routine. Bend your knees, chest up, hands forward, thumbs up and side. Again, front, look down, don't look up. I want that neck to be neutral spine. Up and side, up and side. Do 10, that's total 20. Daily routine, it will help you a lot. Okay. All right.
Can we use weights for the same exercise or for the
I
back?
would suggest using bands if you have developed the strength. So start
Like 2 kilo weights on each of the arm.
You can try with that. But if
I'm just worried of the lactation part, if it really affects it.
No, you can start. Nothing will happen. This is a very common mobility exercise. Nothing. In fact, it actually helps.
Because if it reduces the breast size, will it affect the lactation? That's the only concern.
Not going to reduce the breast size. Don't worry about this. This has nothing to do with the breast. This is about your shoulder blade. So once you do the exercise, you will understand the hands are going up and the shoulder. So basically, this is the scapula. Because if you open your arms right now, if you are so worried about that, you can do the alternate method is this. Lie down, take a easy weight, or maybe a small water bottle. And if your posture is hurting you, bend that elbow here, okay? And just drop it down and bring it up. This is all shoulder mobility. If I have to tell you that you need to work on your chest size, then I will start asking you to do push-ups. And trust me, we women do push-ups. I have women in my class who do push-ups, and there's nothing wrong with the breast milk production, nothing at all.
Even if the breast reduces in size, it doesn't affect, right?
No, it won't. As long as the production is absolutely fine, your size will never reduce. Trust me, I have women who are lifting weight and they are just feeding the baby. So
because the baby is only on the breast milk. That's the only concern I have.
Ma'am, like I cannot emphasize. You can also Google it. Your hydration is what governs it, and these are very, very mild exercises. Okay, these are not like you are doing push-ups and high intensity plyometrics that you need to get worried about.
So will all that?
Sorry?
Do high intensity exercises affect the lactation?
No, it doesn't. That's what I'm saying. Exercising never. I know athletes, my coach who's in US, and she's been feeding the baby. It never affects. Like, this is such a big myth. I don't know from where it's not even backed by science. It's just backed by women who don't work out and they don't want other women to work out. Okay. That's what it is coming from people so ideally how this comes from. Women who do not have access to good nutritious food, do not have access to good nutritious, or let's say in villages when they have to travel far for water, that's when this problem comes. And this is basically originated from there. But if you are drinking water, I can give you 10,000 cases wherein if as long as you're drinking water, you do not have issues, you are absolutely fine as long as you're working out. And I understand your concern and I respect that. But I would say just take this out of your mind. And the moment you would know yourself once you start exercising and you will see the production. If you feel it's off, then talk to your healthcare provider immediately. Okay, going to take the next question here.
Oh, ma'am, thanks a lot.
No problem. Can squats be done post C-section? Absolutely, absolutely, and you must, because your squat will directly strengthen your hip. Your hip is responsible for everything out there. Your lower back, your pelvic health, your core strength, your upper back. So please make sure that you're doing squats after you have done some core strengthening exercises. Okay.
Yeah, I raised the question about squats. I've increased the weight a little more. So will it put weight on my knees if I do squat?
It totally depends again how you're doing the squat and under whose supervision you're doing the squat. I don't know whether you're doing it on your own because
I'm doing it on my own right now.
So I don't know how you're doing it on your own. So the supervision and again, like I said, the form and the posture needs to be correct.
Okay.
Whatever, especially in postnatal, this is where so let me talk about this. Thank God for asking that question. There is a hormone called relaxin, which is present in the body from the time you have conceived a baby to the time you have delivered, and almost a year you have delivered. This hormone is responsible for loosening of your joints. So anytime you're not doing your exercises with the correct form, there are very high chances that you will have a knee pain or you will injure your ankle or you will have some of the other issue. So please make sure that you are doing exercises in supervision and under right form. Okay. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
All right. I think I've discussed the umbilical hernia and diastasis recti. It needs a special attention. So we design certain exercises mostly towards pelvic floor health when we are talking about umbilical hernia. And there are a lot of women who suffer this, and we reduce the intensity and work more deeply in towards the core regaining than doing intense exercises with them. So that is a different chapter altogether. Okay. Thank you, Rajita, for saying that. All right. Any other question? How to reduce breast size? It will go down. Don't worry. I'm like, it's every woman. For some women, it's a nightmare. For some women, it's like, So as long as you're feeding the baby, it's gonna be there. It's fine. But once you stop feeding the baby, it's gonna come down. When you're doing that, please start doing exercises, because that's when most of the women go through the sagging process. Okay. All right, guys. So thank you for joining in. I think we are way past for over an hour. And if you have any questions, just shoot on the same number. I'll be more than happy to, or if you would like to know about our program, a postnatal yoga or a postnatal exercise program with me or Dr. Gauri, we'll be more than happy to assist you. And we would be sharing the recording soon. So if you would like to go through the exercises again, in case you have missed it out, don't worry. All right. Thank you for joining again, guys.
Is it the same number on which we got the link?
Yes, it'll be the same number. It'll be the same number.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ankita. It was very informative. The session was really informative.
Thank you, Anna. Thanks. Bye. Thank you.
I'll WhatsApp you for the more information.
For sure. For sure.
Thank you, Ankita. Thank you. It was wonderful.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Bye.